Hello, my name is Indonesia Ragisang, number metric 86383. Our topic title, Cultural Influence on Fashion Choices, study how cultural background influences fashion and clothing choices among Malaysian consumers. Fashion is a dynamic expression influenced by cultural heritage, values and social norms. Malaysia's diverse population, including Malay, Chinese and Indian, shapes fashion and clothing choices. Religious guidance such as Islamic dress codes played a significant role in shaping daily fashion choices and the balance between modern and tradition. Malaysia is a multi-ethnic, multicultural and multi-religious society. Traditional dress such as Malay baju kurung, baju Melayu, China cheongsam, and Indian isari that reflects cultural heritage and identity. The Malaysian fashion scene has seen a new dynamic due to globalization and modernization. Young Malaysians are leading this fusion, preserving cultural heritage while embracing modernity. The convergence of culture raises cultural preservation and identity issues, but also allow for creative expression and the evolution of traditional fashion. And the importance of cultural inclusion in Malaysia. The brand and designer which exploring ways of incorporating cultural element into their collection. And understanding cultural factors that influence fashion choices can facilitate the development of more inclusive and culturally relevant products. And this study aims to fill exercising knowledge gaps and contribute to a broader discussion on cultural sustainability and the impact of globalization on local fashion practice and the future direction of the Malaysian fashion industry. Next, the problem statement of cultural influences on fashion choices, which is the first addresses the knowledge gap and limited understanding of how cultural backgrounds influence fashion choices among Malaysian consumers. The need for research on how different cultures affect fashion preference and behavior in Malaysia. Lack of research because of a few studies focus on how cultural diversity such as Malay, Chinese, Indians. This is affect fashion preference and behavior in Malaysia. Next, challenge of balancing cultural heritage with current fashion trends. Consumers aim to preserve cultural heritage while embracing modern fashion trends, posing a challenge. The fashion industry in Malaysia struggles to meet diverse consumer needs due to this lack of insight of the unique challenge in combining tradition and modernity. Identify cultural features influencing fashion choices. This study aims to identify cultural factors influencing fashion choices, such as ethnicity, religious beliefs, and historical customs. It is provide a comprehensive understanding of Malaysia's fashion landscape, inform industry stakeholders, and promote cultural sensitivity and inclusiveness. Lastly, promote cultural sustainability and appreciation of Malaysia's diverse cultural heritage in the context of globalization. Next, the research objective. First, examine the influence of ethnic identity on fashion choices. Second, explore the role of religion in shaping fashion preference. Third, to investigate the impact of globalization and modernity on traditional fashion choices. By addressing this objective, to provide a comprehensive understanding of how cultural background influences fashion choices in Malaysia. Next, offer valuable insight for the fashion industry to create culturally sensitive and attractive products. To contribute to discussion on cultural sustainability, preserving cultural identity, and the impact of globalization on local fashion practice. The research question. First, how does ethnic identity influence the fashion choices of Malaysian consumers? Second, what specific religious principles and values such as Islamic principle of modesty guide the daily fashion decision of different religious communities in Malaysia? Third, how has exposure to global fashion trends affected the traditional fashion choices of Malaysian consumers? Next, underpinning theories. By globalization theory, the operationality is focuses on how global trends affect fashion, leading to either cultural homogenization, which is making culture more alike, or heterogenization. which is highlighting cultural differences. The dimension looks at how global trends spread and dissolve international boundaries into a global condition. The issue is balance global fashion trend with the need to preserve local cultural identities, and the similarities with other theories. Both have examined how external factors influence fashion. The differences is more relevant for understanding international influences and global fashion trends. Next, symbolic approach to religion. The operationality is view religious belief as interpretable expression that influence clothing choices. The dimensions is focuses on how religious custom impact cultural ideas of modesty and clothing norm. The issue is balance religious values with personal and social expression, and the similarities with other theories address how cultural factors intersect with fashions, and the differences specifically look at religious influence and how they shape personal values and fashion choices. Next, underpinning theories, which is ethnic identity theory. The operationality is considered clothing as a symbol of cultural history and a way to preserve identity. The dimension is emphasize the role of ethnic traditions in shaping fashion preference. The issue is balance preserving ethnic heritage with adapting to modern fashion trends, and the similarities with other theory. All theories consider how culture influences fashion, and the difference is focuses on the impact of ethnic identity and cultural traditions on fashion choices. Based on these underpinnings theories is comparison summary. The similarities is all theories explore how culture, religion, and external factors affect fashion choices. And the differences globalization theory is focuses on global trends and international influence. And the symbolic approach to religions, which is focuses on religious belief and expressions. And lastly is ethnic identity theory, which is focuses on ethnic identity and cultural traditions. Conceptual framework. Based on Figure 1, which the framework is cultural context influences on Malaysian fashion and clothing choices, which is cultural identity, globalization, and religious belief. Cultural identity, which influences perception and adoption of fashion aligned with the group's belief and customs. Traditional clothing like baju kurung or baju Melayu, which reflect cultural pride. Globalization brings global styles and trends to regional marketplace, which is combining international and local fashion. Lastly, religious beliefs, which influences fashion choices particularly in Islam majority, Malaysia, where modest clothing align with Islamic guidelines. On the other religions like Buddhism, Christianity, and Hinduism also have dress customs that influence daily fashion choices. Overall, these factors shape Malaysian customers' clothing fashion choices, which reflecting the rich cultural diversity of Malaysia consumer. In hypothesis development, theories have three hypotheses, which is Hypothesis 1. Malaysian customers' fashion choices are heavily influenced by their ethnic identity. The rationale ethnicity influences individuals' cultural values, traditions, and behaviors, including fashion preference. In Malaysia, in which Malays, Chinese, and Indians have distinguished cultural attire such as baju kurung, cheongsam, and sari. These traditional clothing reflect and reinforce ethnic identity. It analyzed several fashion exhibitions that fashion intimate relation to life is a way to understand past life whereby fashion and dress are a part of cultural histories. Next, Hypothesis 2. Religious belief significantly influence the fashion choices of Malaysian consumers. The rationale is religious beliefs including Islamic modesty or Hindu custom. There are determined specific dress code and fashion choices. For instance, a lot of Malay Muslim dress simply according to its Islamic law, and other religious customs influence what people wear in their communities as well. This theory seeks to investigate the relationship between faith and style. This also emphasizing how religious principles influence choices about what to wear in daily life. Hypothesis 3. The globalization and contemporary life significantly influence traditional fashion choices among Malaysian consumers. The rationale is globalization introduced global fashion trend by means of media, social platform, and global brands, which is influencing local fashion landscape. The particularly young Malaysians combine contemporary and traditionally aspects to create hybrid dress design. This hypothesis looks at the effects of contemporary fashions and global exposure on traditional clothing, as well as the consequence for cultural preservation and the evolution of fashion. Some traditional materials are still used and produced by artisans in the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Due to that, many designers in Malaysia select the option to use modern materials. Next, the introduction of new technology to deliver information will be overcome in fashion and clothing style in this era. Technology, such as television, movies, and print media, influence the way people dress.
The use of quantitative method, descriptive research design, and cross-sectional time horizon suitcase the research problem for the investigation since it is comprehensive, accurate, and practical for the research work. The adopted method approach yield figure and percentage to complement prevision of detailed hence, giving a comprehensive solution to the research problem. The descriptive design will enable description of the characteristic of the variable and therefore makes it easy to explain the current state of fashion choice and cultural influence. As for the cross-sectional time horizon, it does not require huge amount of time and research for data collection. For population, the study focused on Malaysian customers aged 18 and above, encompassing diverse cultural backgrounds including Malaysia, Chinese in India, with various religious affiliation. This broad demographic aimed to analyze how cultural background influence fashion choice. For sampling frame, the sampling frame consists of customers' panels. This source ensures a comprehensive and representative list of potential participants and minimizing sampling bias. For sampling technique, stratified random sampling is employed, dividing the population into strata based on ethnicity, religion, and geographic location. Proportional sampling within each stratum ensures adequate representation of cultural subgroups, while random selection within strata reduces selection bias. For sampling size, the sample size is 384 respondents is determined. For large population exceeding 1 million based on Malaysia population which is 33 million, ensuring a 95% confidence level and a 5% margin of error. Developing a reliable and valid research instrument is crucial for studying how cultural background influence fashion and clothing choice among Malaysian customers. The process begins with defining construct referred to cultural background, including ethnicity, religion, and cultural value, and fashion choice, such as clothing style and shopping habits. Specific items are then created to measure its construct, incorporating clues and questions with Likert scale and multiple choice format, as well as open-end questions to capture quantitative insight. Ensuring validity involves expert review to confirm that the item effectively covers the intended construct, while construct validity is established through factor analysis to verify theoretical alignment. Reliability assessed using Cronbach alpha, ensuring that the questionnaire consistently measures the same construct. A pilot test with a small sample helped refine the questionnaire for clarify the effectiveness based on feedback from respondents. ensuring the instrument reliability and validity before full-scale implementation. Primary data is collected through survey. We distribute a constructed questionnaire using online platform to reach a diverse group of Malaysian customers. The questionnaire includes sections on demographics such as age, gender and income, cultural background including ethnicity, religion and cultural practice, and fashion preference like style choice, brand preference and shopping habit. This approach ensures to gather comprehensive and relevant data from a broad and varied sample of participants, allowing to analyze how culture factors influence fashion choice across different demographic groups. The quantitative data collected from the survey is analyzed using statistical software such as SPSS. First, descriptive statistics like frequencies, percentage, means, and standard deviation are calculated to summarize the demographic and key variables, providing an overall picture of the respondents' fashion preference and culture background. Next, reliability is assessed using Crunchbench alpha to ensure consistent measurement, while factor analysis confirms the validity of the construct. Inferential statistics are then applied. Chi-square tests examine relationship between categorical variables such as ethnicity and fashion choice. T-test and ANOVA compare the mean of fashion preference across different culture groups, and correlation and regression analysis assess the strength and direction of relationship between variables, identifying significant predictor of fashion choice. This is comprehensive approach allows for a detailed understanding of the data and the relationship between cultural background and fashion preference.